Hey guys, many people ask me, and this is a very common thing, give me business ideas, what should I do for my business idea? I don't have a good business idea, give me one. And this is a faulty way to approach things. Because I can't give a business idea. I could give a business idea, but the chances are it's not the right one for you. The right one for you is, let me explain how to come up with business ideas on your own. First of all, it's a business idea that you will have, hopefully, for a business that will go on for a long time. So that means it's something that you should want to be in. Like, you should care about the subject, you should have an interest in it. If it's just for the money, I guess that's fine, but it's like there are so many ups and downs, it's pretty difficult. And often what happens is your interest and your passion are sometimes the things that carry you through and keep you going. And it's really important. And also, if you have an interest in something, it will make you better at being in that field, right? It will make you learn things faster. It will just make you more aware. You will naturally gravitate towards it. So it actually will make you a better business person. You'll be naturally more interested in the subject matter, right? Like, imagine if, like, I'm not into fashion or something. Imagine if I started a fashion business. I would just like dread it, right? Really? And there's a lot of money in fashion, right? Somebody can say, there's a lot of money in fashion, you should go, here's a business idea, do this thing in fashion. But at the same time, I'll have no real interest in it. And people who have an interest in it, people who, they even, on their free time, they spend time in fashion, like, they'll be able to beat me just because I just won't be that competitive or that interested in it, right? So you should have a passion in this field, first of all. And that really also brings me to the point of, like, not only should you have passion, but like, you should really have some expertise in it, right? Because if you don't have an expertise in an area, the first 3 to 12 months, you're just going to be learning from your own mistakes. And that's expensive, and that can really damage your business if you consider that the first 3 to 12 to 16 months to 18 months, if the business doesn't really get going after that point, it's time to quit almost, right? Because how long can you be spending on a business that's not working? So you should certainly do something that's within your expertise, or maybe within your past work in history, right? Because if you don't want to be starting from scratch. You can, but ideally, at least someone on your team should, on the founding team, should have a deep expertise in the subject matter and experience. Now, once you have that, the thing that you're going to be doing, right, the actual business plan, the actual business, what it should be is you have to make sure that it's actually really useful to someone. The traditional way to examine this concept is, people used to ask, there was a traditional business plan, business school question of what problem is your business solving, right? Because if your business is not solving a problem for someone, then it's is it really useful? And by the way, my whole apps, my Problemio business apps, that's kind of why I named them Problemio, because it's a play on that question of what problem are you solving? Problemio, right? What problem is your business solving? But the truth is that you don't have to solve a problem, because you should think about it more broadly, because not every business solves a problem, right? Some businesses entertain, some businesses educate, some businesses do solve a problem, but make your statement broader. Why are you useful, right? Why is your business useful? I think that's a better way to state this question. What problem is your business solving is a little bit maybe an outdated or too narrow of an approach. But if you think about many businesses online, they just entertain, right? Or like Facebook, it doesn't solve any problem, kind of. It gets vague. So, but it's useful to many people, right? To keep in touch with friends. So you have to have a really good answer for why your business is useful. And so sometimes it's really obvious. Like, if you're doing a lawn care business, obviously that's useful. But in some businesses it's not that useful, especially a lot of the innovative technology businesses. It is not that useful, or sometimes it's not immediately clear. Now, once you figure out how your business is useful, it's like, how useful is it? Because if it's really useful, then people will start to spend money with it, people will spend money, right? And if it's not that useful, people will be like, well, what the heck, I don't maybe need this, it's really not that useful, right? So you have to get to understand what market you're in and who your customers will be, and then you have to get a sense of like how useful this thing is to your potential customers. And of course, you have to be in a good market, right? So if the market is growing, it's a good market. If a market is big, it's a good market. But if a market, you know, like let's say there are some markets that are shrinking, like the newspaper industry. I mean, that's a difficult market, right? Because it's like there's less and less money in it, there's less and less interest in it, difficult. But if you're in a market like, let's say, like selling high-end fashion, it's a very lucrative market. I mean, I couldn't do it because I don't know the market. But for a person who knows the market, you know, selling high-end fashion is great because you're manufacturing and, you know, you're making the stuff, the items for not that much money. You're selling it for a lot. You get a lot of markup, and your customers are great because they can afford it because it's high-end stuff. So, and fashion is a really popular market. It's a big one. There's a lot of money in it. It's like $1 billion market, right? So you want to be in those kind of markets. But also do note that really large markets, really lucrative ones, they have tremendous competition. So if you're small, if you're starting out, you may actually want to be in a mid-sized market or not a very competitive market, because I mean, if you're selling fashion, it's going to be hard to compete. So you have a plan. You have to have a plan for that. So those are the kind of things that you should really weigh when you come up with business ideas. And to come up with real business ideas is just take a look at the life around you. Often you'll find that, you know, there's a lot of like inefficiencies or things that are missing or things that are not as good as could be. So if you can improve any of those things, you know, always sort of be vigilant, be aware of your everyday life, because many business ideas can come from that. And they should, because if you see something that's needed and it's not there, or it could be better, then that might be an opportunity for you if it's within your expertise, that you can pull off this idea and it's in a good market and you can make money from it and it can be useful, right? So those are the sort of criteria that you should always sort of weigh in your mind as you go through your day-to-day and you evaluate many business ideas. And once you get in the groove of this, you'll be going through many ideas per day. You'll notice things, many different things, right? But be picky, because the idea just got to be just right for you, and many things have to be perfect in it, because you don't want to jump at the first thing. You really want to evaluate and weigh and judge pretty well.